Yo, what is going on, cycling fans? It is Straight Outta Boston here today. I'm back for episode number 24 of my Pro Team Mode series here on Tour de France 2015. So we're back kicking off the 2020 season. We have got an opportunity. We've got every rider in the game now unlocked except for the legendary riders. So we're going to be filling out a new team. First addition had to be TJ Van Garderen, the American. I'm going to try and win the Tour de France with this season. We're also going to pick up Mark Cavendish, try and maybe get into some sprints a little bit more. We've really struggled to sprint in the past with the likes of Daryl Impey. But we're also going to pick up Geraint Thomas in an effort to, I really wanted a nice all-around rider, or a versatile rider. I hadn't had a good one yet. We're also going to pick up the American sprinter Tyler Farrar to be Cavendish's lead-out man. And then we're going to sell Dylan Van Baarle, pick up Tom Dumoulin, and a final move, we're going to sell Christophe Riblon. I didn't really want to at first, but that second mountain spot is so valuable. And I couldn't decide between Talansky and Fabio Aru, but I would eventually pick Fabio Aru, the man who did win the Giro d'Italia this year, over Tom Dumoulin. Dumoulin, I think, had the leader's jersey entering the Queen stage, and then I think he fell all the way back to like 6th or whatever because he really struggled on the final day. But there we go. So that is the new team this year. Now, I could have very easily just gone after a guy like Chris Froome or a guy like Alberto Contador, but I sort of wanted to give myself the challenge, at least at first, of getting Van Garderen. Plus, if I had gone after one of those top tier guys, I wouldn't have had much money left to build a supporting cast, surrounding unit, a good team, which you do need to win in the Tour de France, although not so much in this game. I would say you can do a lot of good things individually. I think I've proven that in the past, overperforming with guys like Christophe Riblon despite having a pretty poor team. But either way, I wanted to, have a nice surrounding, or, have a nice supporting cast, and I think, next year, should we, even if we don't win the Tour de France this year with Van Garderen, we should earn enough money with the caliber of riders that we have. We should be winning enough stages now and, finishing highly in enough races that we should earn the money to be able to support Froome pretty nicely in the next year. So here we go. I tried launching the sprint pretty early here with Cavendish. It's going to kind of bite me in the butt here. I have to slow up, and then boom, Marcel Kittel comes out of nowhere. He's the best sprinter in this game, and he picks up the victory. So usually in the Criterium International, we don't have the top tier riders. It's usually kind of the bottom of the barrel in this game. But I guess because our caliber of team improved, that they decided to bring all the good riders into this race, because you're going to see the likes of Marcel Kittel, as well as, Contador, Froome, all those big guys. So anyway, this season, like I said, I do want to try and win the Tour with Van Garderen. If I feel like he's just not good enough, if we're not going to be able to do it, then next season I will consider adding a guy like Chris Froome. But for now, I wanted to see if I could do it with the American, become the first American to win it, and not subsequently have the title stripped, years later, since Greg LeMond in 1986, of course. Floyd Landis and Lance Armstrong did temporarily win it, but they are no longer in the record books. But either way, here we've got the time trial. So the good thing about having a guy like TJ Van Garderen is he is very good in the time trial. Very good in the mountains, but also really good in the time trial. And it is the race of truth, they call it that, for a reason. It so often decides big stage races like the Tour de France. And you can see he is showing off his time trialing prowess here in the Criterium International. We've got this short, like 6.5 kilometer time trial. And you're going to see Van Garderen coming across the first checkpoint. Looks like 14th overall. Tom Dumoulin was leading at the first checkpoint, though, so his teammate could be picking up the stage victory here. We'll see, though. It's Van Garderen coming into the final kilometer. Now, this had a couple uphill sections, and because of that, I sort of mismanaged my energy a little bit, gave a little bit too much effort in the early going, but still recovered here nicely in the second half. You saw I was only about 2 seconds under my checkpoint time at the first checkpoint. You see here I'm going to cross about 10 seconds faster, I believe. We're going to come across about 750. It'd actually be 754. So we're about 5 seconds faster as opposed to just 2 seconds faster. So I guess you could say some of that was just, increasing that gap over a distance of time. But this is not Van Garderen picking up the victory. This would be Tom Dumoulin. So he picks up the stage victory. He would also take over the yellow jersey and the white jersey. So pretty good stuff here. This is, of course, the bonus to having such a good team. You don't even have to try so hard anymore to win some stages, as when you've got the likes of Tom Dumoulin on the team, one of the best time trialers in the world. He's going to be able to win some stages like this. So there you go. He does pick up the victory, and he also is in the white and the yellow jersey now. Of course, we do have the big mountain stage to cap off this year's Criterium International coming up. So we'll see if Dumoulin, he did race pretty well in the mountains in the Vuelta, but at the same time, the level of competition was not quite as high as the field in this Criterium. So we'll see. It's pretty unlikely Dumoulin is going to be able to contend, but we will certainly try and contend with Van Garderen. I'd like to get him in the top 10, and maybe even try and see if we can win this race here. Of course, it is really the first early test. I mean, this is a preview of things to come. Van Garderen versus the likes of Quintana, Froome, Contador, Valverde. Those guys. We're going to see how Van Garderen matches up against them. And this is a good test, a good early season test. It doesn't quite as much as the Tour is going to count for later on in the season, but still a good barometer of how Vanguard might be looking early on in the season here. So we're riding with the leaders, not the leaders, but the overall contenders here, the guys who are going to matter in this race. And you can see the pace being picked up. Vanguard trying to keep up here. Obviously, don't want to lose contact with this group. And you can see some of the really good riders actually starting to pull away a little bit at the front. So I'm trying to keep in contact. A lot of guys cannot keep up with this pace right now. You can see Mikel Nieve falling back. We have no teammates left in this, so everyone on Team HFT is falling back. There's Andrew Talansky who can't quite keep up. But Joaquim Rodriguez, Buck Mollema as well, Nibali, Micah. But you can see some of the top riders there getting a little bit of a gap. Bardet falling back now. This is where I really wanted to push things. I wanted to catch up to this leading group of 4, Pino, Quintana, Contador, and Froome. And you can see Rigoberto Uran trying to catch up as well. So I'm really pushing the pace here, using up a lot of energy. I really want to stay in contact with this group. I know that if I lose contact with them now, I'm probably never going to see them again, at least not in this stage. But you can see here the group behind me trying to keep up. Nibali, Porte, and Bardet are hitched on my back wheel, trying to come along and catch up with the leaders with me. But unfortunately, the gap would only start to increase. You can see we're just behind the 14 seconds, and we can't quite close it, though, unbelievably enough. I'm trying to push the pace as much as I can while still, conserving energy for the rest of the race, of course. But still, nothing quite, we just can't quite get there, and then eventually the gap is opened up. 37 seconds now, and it really appears that we're not going to be able to catch up, and Vanguard is probably giving his best effort, so I decided to peel off and let Nibali do some of the pacemaking. He's probably the stronger climber of the two here anyway. Maybe he can pick up the pace a little bit, but he also might just be suffering today. Who knows? Anyway, now 3 kilometers to go, so you can see we would stay with this group all the way up until the summit here on Mont Ventoux. We're still riding with Bardet, Nibali, and I think maybe some others too. I'm not quite sure, but you can see some of the time gaps to the front being spread out. Quintana leading the race now, 40 seconds over Contador, who's ahead of Froome, who's ahead of Pinot, who's ahead of us on the road right now. Valverde in this group as well, and you can see we're about to come under the Flemme Rouge here. So Vanguard currently in 6th position. Like I said, would like to get a top 10, and probably this seems like we've got a pretty secure, plus the time trial. We were already sitting 3rd overall entering the day, so it seems like we've secured that top 10 so long as we can keep in contact with this group in the final 700 meters. So, although these are very tough final 700 meters, you can see up to 10% here as we're coming along and coming around the final bend here. It's Valverde out of the saddle, launching the sprint, and I'm going to just try and maintain my position right now in 6th, maybe use some cheeky block tactics, a fan favorite, I know. But you're going to see I'm going to flip the camera here, and then I think I'm actually going to pass by a couple guys, Bardet, and I'm not sure if he finished ahead of Rodriguez. Looks like we did. So we take 7th place. Not too bad, and I think overall we would probably also finish 7th. Actually, we finished 5th ahead of Valverde and Nibali thanks to the time trial. So top 5, not too bad. Obviously, I've won this race in the past, and it would have been nice to do so again, but, the big thing is Vanguard showcasing that he can compete with the top-tier climbers in the world, so that is a good sign, and we will have to, we will look to build on this effort. I think, I've learned some things, especially in the sprints, and really, I think Vanguard the same thing happened to him on Mont Ventoux. Was just bad positioning. I got to be up at the front of the group more often, so. Anyway, that is going to do it. I hope you guys did enjoy. Thanks for watching, and I'm out. Peace.